for being here. Any character or events duplicated in this talk is purely a coincidence, okay? Now let's see, if the video works. Okay, so let me present our main character, Luke Scrumwalker. He worked at Kodak Galaxy. He was a set developer in a waterfall world. His life is purely black and white. As you can see, this is their team. They're thinking of hope that the client will be happy, that they have enough budget to finish the project. Some think that they'll only be delivered in 1 year. They don't communicate. It's only around their thoughts. So he needs a change request to change his life. And his wife works there too. Sadly, she died. She will be an important piece of the story. She had a deadline. So his life was home, work, home, 9 to 5. One day, when he was coming back home, Luke pops up into CXPO and R2CSM2, and they asked for help. Luke, he said he was in a hurry to get back home and that they could connect through LinkedIn. So the next day, he was on a coffee break, and then his cell phone rang, and he had two invites from CXPO and R2CSM2, which he accepted. It had a following message. So, Luke, we need you. The man who killed your wife through waterfall torture is about to continue its killing spree. Who we don't dare to say the name, is coaching other companies into dark agile, and we need you to join the rebels. We know you since you were a child, and agility is within you. RSVP now. Well, still, Luke was reluctant to change. He feels very comfortable with long specs, Microsoft project Gantt charts, which is much more predictable. So because he spent months working on it, but he's still not happy. He's feeling alone, and he doesn't understand completely why he's feeling like this. If in the end everything fails, so these guys are still following the huge releases with big plans. In the meantime, Luke receives another LinkedIn invitation by Darth Safe. In this case, he decided to ignore. He refused it. There's a new character jumping in, which is Obi Kambanobi, appears. Although Luke doesn't recognize him as a starting point. It's me, Obi Kambanobi, your dear friend. "Oh, I went looking for you, but you disappeared. What happened?" So it's important to introduce this new character. Oh, what the hell happened here? Okay, back. Obi-Wan, Kenobi. Yeah, still mix the names. Okay, it's the first time. It was Luke's former chief in the Kodak universe, and he was also a great friend of his wife, Kanban Ray. He left Kodak very sadly after Luke's wife died with waterfall syndrome, as we explained. But he shows up to see his former co-workers at Kodak. Luke never forgot the big battles they had to tackle RFPs, RFYs, and long detailed planning documents. But Luke looks at him and says, "Hey, you look much healthier and happier. What happened?" He remembered still their adventures with, as I mentioned, and those long hours on client side waiting to do big deploys. So what happened to Obi Kamanobi? He went into a detox clinic. He needed something to change his life. And he found something, the Agile Manifesto. He joined the Jedi Alliance and started training to discover the light. There was a problem. Jedi started fighting each other, and some changed to the dark side. He's one of the last Jedis, and he feels that Luke has a strong force within him. But still, he's quite old for now. But he remembers that he has a friend that is starting some Agile meetups in some other galaxy and could be Luke's mentor. That person is Hand Coach. There's a new era rising, and it's time for a change. But be careful, there are spies. Hand Coach is hosting some meetups, some Agile meetups and some conferences in order to gain some visibility with Agile. But no matter which side of the truth it is, he just wants to show really well on his LinkedIn profile. So his motto is Agile isn't new, it's just common sense rebranded. And you have a new character there, Sprint Baka, his best friend. However, he sees an opportunity there in terms to gain visibility, to join Luke, and to train him as a future Jedi. For now, he thinks it's only a commercial hypothesis. Let's see. In the meantime, Luke receives another LinkedIn invitation, this time by a Scrum Trooper. A poisoned gift because he only wants access to his manager at Kodak. Back to another common galaxy, you can see the typical company used to waterfall processes that receives a lot of invitations in terms of trainings. And the Scrum Troopers are trying to give some more trainings, and just for the price of one, whatever fits, the price will increase. So in the meantime, they're doing Agile transformation, so work in progress here. The galaxy, as you can imagine, on this Agile transformation went from bad to worse. So another transformation not well achieved. Although Luke is still battling inside him, Luke doesn't understand why this happened on another galaxy. They all have all the framework in place, but the dance is still the same. So Obi Kamanobi, with his few strengths that he still has, explains to Luke that the mindset towards learning is more important than the device. So the mindset is, the Agile is a mindset, and the frameworks are purely the tools in the path to a possible success. So he decided to tell Luke a little story. In a planet unknown to some, where the foundations of Agile, the manifesto and the principles, are taken very seriously. The key was motivated people. People who loved working in a collaborative way, where there are special people who support the teams. On this planet, they are called Agile Masters. This seems to be part of the key to success. By taking to them, the one realized that the principles are very seriously taken in everything they do. They feel and say what they are doing. People trust each other, and they feel the freedom to express their feelings. Master Yoda trained them before he died. This was the last planet where he could do a successful Agile transformation. In their homage, they created their own framework, Adoi, in the memory of Master Yoda. After the fight on the previous planet, he realizes he cannot win the war by himself. So Luke starts on a journey. He starts giving Agile Foundation workshops under a fake name, going to Agile conferences and writing blog posts. His goal was to reach the rebels and get the message out to Princess Leia. So Luke decides to go to a couple of meetups. So this is another Scrum Trooper on the way to a Vader Ops meetup. Meanwhile, in this meetup, he sees the reactions that Luke, and there's a spy over there, which means it's one of the rebels. So a person calls him up and says that he's part of the rebels and that he should join. So Luke tells him that he has a message for Princess Leia, the secrets to destroy the Empire's lethal weapon, the Star Spotify. This rebel spy sorts out a call on Skype with Princess Leia to get them in touch. So right now, Princess Leia has the info and realizes that he does indeed have the key to destruct the powerful weapon of the Empire, the Star Spotify. They combine a place to meet. She gathers a couple of the Agilists. Upon arriving at this site, it is noticed that Han Coach feels that his life is a waste of time and falls in love with the princess. The princess calls her best man to start the destruction of Star Spotify on a wrecking adventure. Luke's master remembers that your device is just a tool. It's how and when you use it that makes you a true Jedi. Rebels are going to attack the Star Spotify. Well, but they have a problem. Unfortunately, the Empire is one step ahead of them, so the Star Spotify is far ahead in the process to destroy Planet Kodak with an intense Spotify model with the tribes of Scrum Troopers. Well, in the meantime, Males is sharing a lot of certifications. And he starts a fight with Obi Kabanobi. Unfortunately, Obi Kabanobi is defeated. He is dead. There were too many certifications for him to handle. So maybe it could be because of his age. Probably we'll know. There's another fight. A lot of fights in this period. Males dies, fortunately, in the hands of Luke. He didn't fall on the trap of certifications. He fought back with his agile mindset. Luke saw for the first time Darth Safe. Darth Safe wanted him to join the dark side. But he acknowledges that the strength of the agility is really strong within him. Luke refuses, fortunately. He doesn't want to come back to what he knew as a waterfall process at Kodak. He got a vision of the light right now. They start the fight. Unfortunately, Luke falls into the black hole of PMI. His LinkedIn profile disappeared. Darth Safe wins once more and the rebels withdraw. At least that's what he thinks. It's a shame. Life moves on. The agility was strong within him. But what Darth Safe doesn't know was that Luke was saved at the 11th hour by the rebels. So they start to pivot the plan because they withdraw. So they come back to the rebel base to regroup. Luke understands that he learned several things and that wasn't a failure, but on the other side, a great opportunity. And he suggests the team to do a retrospective. And Han Coach is thinking that he did the technique of 70-20-10, so 70% he learned by doing, 20% he learned from others, and 10% by training. In this case, all the fights that he had. In the rebel base, in the meantime, retrospective is underway. As you can see, they completely understand the mantra of inspect and adapt because each planet, they recognize that each planet should have their own operational model. For the next sprint, Luke commits himself to help his former galaxy, Kodak. He acknowledged that he lacked agile mindset in order to help them. With all the knowledge Luke gathered in the meantime, he feels the urge to go back and help him. So with CXPO on board, they are going back to Kodak. But kaboom! As mentioned, the star Spotify was far ahead of them. Kodak is made into ashes and completely destroyed. Only a few survivors survived this brutal attack by the Spotify model and all the Scrum troopers. Luke comes back to the rebel base feeling very sad because his sprint goal wasn't achieved. Princess Lin wants to help them and say that she probably has the truth in order to survive the sprint goal. And that she knows why and how Kanban Rey, who is Luke's wife, died. Because she didn't have enough agile principles within her. And Princess Lin believes that Darthsafe is Luke's father. Kanban Rey, and that's what Darthsafe is acknowledging, did not have the agile mindset to do this. She could not resist the process. It was too strong. She failed to be a manager, and Darthsafe had to eliminate her. She resisted being a servant leader for Kodak. Luke attacks the star Spotify and does a sprint review. He wants to kill Darthsafe in order to have his revenge, as he thinks he knows the truth. He thinks. Thirsty with revenge, Luke wins the fight against Darthsafe, but he's confronted with the sad and difficult truth about his past. Darthsafe is not his father. After this battle, Luke thinks he is safe, but he couldn't be further from the truth. In the meantime, Luke receives a LinkedIn invitation by the Emperor himself, who is the CEO of Agile Center. What Luke doesn't know is that the Emperor is Luke's real father. He wants to convince him to go to the dark side. Another sad truth that Luke isn't aware is that his wife is still alive. Fortunately, she survived. But will she turn into the dark side? Well, let's see what other adventures we have for our hero on the next episodes of this saga. May agility be with you all. Thank you very much. I'll just go through a quick making of this episode, The Agility Awakens. This was done, we had the purpose of trying to pass the following learning outcomes. So, desire to discover better how to implement proper good agility, awareness of the danger of selling and using dark agile and how you should use agile, share knowledge about the agile mindset, and this is the main focus on being agile and not doing, understand a bit of the ADKAR model of change, embracing the art of storytelling, and I'll explain a bit more about that, and that agile isn't new mainly. At least that was my and Ricardo's vision for this talk. It's just a bit of common sense rebranded in a lot of ways. So how did me and Ricardo, who unfortunately cannot be here today, but we'll get to that slide, did this? So we started by gathering a Trello board, some ideas, just jumping around. This was the first board of a couple of them. Then we used one technique of storytelling. I don't know if you guys know, who is the hero's journey. This was how Star Wars was done with this technique, and a lot of movies like Batman. So this was the technique we decided to use. And it's divided in a lot of steps. Okay? After we have the hero's journey, we transformed into a doing board. So we had the to-do with the big list. We pulled cards. Then we passed to the other one to review, and done. This is how in 2 weeks we did basically all the slides. This talk was done remotely, mainly. Okay, Ricardo lives in Aveiro, and I live in Lisbon. We met once, and we already knew each other in the past. So it was quite a nice session to start the hero's journey, and the rest was all remote. Both of us are co-organizers of Agile Connect. I do the Agile Connect with a couple of friends in Lisbon, which will be here tomorrow on this stage from 11 to 1 with a couple of speakers. And Ricardo is one of the co-organizers from the Agile Connect meetup in Aveiro. And Agile Connect, if you don't know, is a group that wants to share experience and spread the knowledge around Agile. And right now it's spread in 4 cities, so Porto, where it all started, and Lisbon, Braga, and Aveiro. So feel free to reach out to us if you want to do a talk, and join us. Just a bit about me presenting. So I'm Nuno Pereira. I worked in the past as a product owner, business development, and project manager in telcos and consultancy. And for the last 3 years, I'm working as a delivery lead at Equal Experts. To present Ricardo, he's currently a line manager at Nokia, but he worked as a product owner, agile coach, scrum master, and at the beginning of his career, a developer. Unfortunately, he cannot be here today to give the talk with me, which is really sad because it's the first time we're doing this, but he's in Luxembourg at the Play 14 conference. So I hope pretty soon to do this talk together with him. Very special thanks to Pixels Camp and Bright Pixel for having me today, us in spirit. And very special thanks to you all for this time, for this period. And any questions, feel free to go for it. Thank you. Oh, and I have some ducks and balls if you guys want. Okay?